Hello and welcome to the Best of Hindsight Tonight. I'm Damian Muziani, and here is this week's theme. Enjoy. Leading off, if you ever wanted to confirm whether journalist members of the media are too powerful and too biased, embrace these tones. Ah, the telltale chimes of hypocrisy. NBC News executives courted and then hired former RNC chair Ronna McDaniel 9 days ago in a move meant to provide a balanced political voice on TV. Well, maybe not balanced. Both NBC and its kid sister Ms. NBC lean further out and left than Steve Bartman did in Wrigley Field. But the move was at least an attempt to honor the long-gone media reform policy called the Fairness Doctrine. More on that in a sec. After the hiring announcement, NBC on-air hosts like Chuck Todd, Joe Scarborough, and Rachel Maddow ripped into their bosses, demanding that McDaniel be fired because she was an election denier and a puppet supporter of Donald Trump. Maddow went so far as to make these clever comparisons.
Wise guy. You wouldn't hire a made man like a mobster to work at a DA's office. Right? You wouldn't hire a pickpocket to work as a TSA screener.
Right, Rachel? Because being an on-air pundit carries such pureness and nobility. So, say a former governor who was exposed for stealing tens of thousands of dollars from taxpayers to spend on hookers and then resigned in disgrace, a major news channel would never give him a pulpit. Oh, wait. That's right. CNN did hire Democrat Elliot Spitzer and gave him his own show and his own makeup artist, and we don't know if the hookers cost extra. And you also would never hire a Watergate felon who was a White House counsel to Richard Nixon and then got sent to prison for obstruction of justice and covering up political hush money payments. Oh, wait, that's right. John Dean signed a contract with CNN and still gets paid to talk on air today. Ronna McDaniel didn't steal tax money or do prison time. Is she probably a liar, a phony, and a clown? I guess. I mean, Ronna McDaniel is just a few dyslexic consonants away from becoming Ronald McDonald. Rachel Maddow could have turned her into a Happy Meal, lambasting her live in studio every night, but instead, she just postured and complained and held her breath until she turned blue no matter who in the face. And now Maddow exposed how spineless her bosses really are. That's great for ratings. She's also ensured that Ronna McDaniel gets $600,000 for 4 days of non-work. And all of this is why we need to bring back the Fairness Doctrine, which was put in place to ensure that every news outlet shared a contrarian voice. Doesn't have to be a big voice, but something, anything to give some form of perspective to faithful viewers. That would be great for America, but it's also bad for greedy news outlets. Because selling only one side of a story builds a core audience, creates fanatical viewership, and turns television into tunnel vision. If your soda pop makes a fortune selling only Pepsi, then you don't need Coke. But Democrats didn't kill the Fairness Doctrine. It was snuffed out by an all-Republican FCC board in 1987, and suddenly up popped right-wing radio by the likes of Rush Limbaugh and others, which became huge audience grabbers, followed by Fox News less than a decade later. That's why Fox News blows away CNN every night, because they can scream, "No Pepsi, Coke," at the top of their lungs. Now, nearly all media personalities will join forces to fight the Fairness Doctrine if anyone in Congress tries to reinstate it, crying about the First Amendment, Fourth Estate, free speech. Well, journalists, you still had plenty of free speech during the Watergate crisis. Kinda came together for that thing. In the 60s, you still had the power to bipartisanly shield all of President Kennedy's distasteful actions from the public. And in the 80s, there was straight reporting on the Iran-Contra affair, all under the Fairness Doctrine. Since then, however, everything has turned red versus blue. Clinton Lewinsky, the hanging Chad, and all the mud we've dodged through the Obama, Trump, and Biden years. And the sad reality is, even if all Americans stood together in one voice to demand fairness in broadcasting, the media will never let you hear about it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week with more of the Best of Hindsight Tonight.